The scientific method is about the process of how to answer a question. The scientific method starts with a question based on an observation. For example, you've been told by many teachers that students do better on exams when they study at school compared to outside of school. You question whether the teacher's observations are true or not. The next step is to form a hypothesis. A hypothesis is a statement based on your educated guess as to what the answers to the question posed in the first step would be. Make sure that the hypothesis is testable. Your hypothesis in this situation would be that students do better on exams when they study in school compared to outside. The third step is to design and conduct an experiment to test your hypothesis. There are different types of experiments that can be designed, such as experimental, quasi-experimental, or correlational studies. You will learn more about the types of experimental designs in Statistical Literacy Competency. In the design of an experiment, it should contain a condition or a factor that can be changed. This is called the independent variable. It should also contain a response that is measured, and this is referred to as the dependent variable. Experiments should be designed so that it can be repeated many times. In this example, you would test your hypothesis by asking your teachers to give a quick questionnaire to all of the students before an exam. The questionnaire asks students to check if they've studied mostly in school or outside of school. You ask for anonymous exam scores of students who reported that they studied in school and those that studied outside of school. The independent variable in this case, which would be a factor that differs for the different groups, would be the location of where students studied. Your dependent variable in this case, which is a factor that is the same, would be the fact that you're going to be looking at all the exam scores. Once your experiment has been completed, you would collect and analyze the data to determine if it supports your hypothesis or not. The final step in the scientific method is the conclusion. The conclusion may or may not support your hypothesis. Regardless, most of the time, conclusions often lead to even more questions, and the process starts again with a new question.